Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Harakak Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, who rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord, doing the same and teaching the same. All right. Coming back with another video. All right. And this is on the brother Tazamak Instagram page, Lively Stone, under number 7. All right. And just going to watch this clip, dealing with springtime and when the year actually starts. All right. And grab some precepts, and Lord willing, is edifying.
Hey, man. Happy New Year. Bro, New Year's was months ago. That's what they want you to think. What do you mean? The real New Year starts in the spring when everything wakes up. At least that's how it's always been until the Gregorian calendar messed everything up. So, how did the Gregorian calendar mess things up? Pope Gregory introduced the Gregorian calendar not to keep time, but to remind folks when to pay taxes. That's why it's called calendar, because in ancient Rome, calends was the day that debts were recorded. Wait a minute. You're saying the calendar was built for taxes? Exactly. And the whole system got thrown off earlier when Julius Caesar and Augustus decided they wanted their own months. That's how we got July and August. Well, why is February so short? Because Augustus wanted his month to be just as long as Julius's, so he stole a date from February. So they reshuffled time to feed their egos. Here I thought they made February short because they were just racist towards Black History Month. But this makes more sense. And that's not even the craziest part. Have you ever noticed the months don't even truly line up to their names? Think about it. September, Septem, 7, but it's the ninth month. October, Octo, 8, but it's the 10th month. November means 9, but it's the 11th month. December, Deca, 10, but it's the 12th month. So they really out here just messing things up. If the calendar was actually accurate, we would have 13 months, not 12. But why 13? Because it follows the natural cycles of the moon's 28 days, which also corresponds to women's menstrual cycles. You see, ancient cultures had it right. They based their calendar based off the moon and the cosmos, not taxes. So every month would be 28 days. Exactly. And the first day of every month would always land on the same day of the week. So we're really just out here living in a system designed to confuse us. And now you see why they call it April Fool's Day.
All right. Yep. And Babylon the Great America is also known as the city of confusion. Because let me go to Luke. It's Luke 12:2. Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. All right. So as people, thanks to the prophets, beginning with the elder apostles, great millstone, on down to the least of us, as this you pushing this truth, and truth is being revealed and pushed all on the internet and on the highways and hedges. All right. So people are waking up to this truth, and they're waking up to the realization of how nothing makes sense under the authority of Esau, the so-called white man. All right. Everything is off course. All right. People is realizing that. Okay, 2/3 of our people, they're not gonna repent and wake up and come into the truth and be saved. It's not happening. All right, only that 1/3 will, which the 144,000 is within that 1/3 number. All right, and the rest of that 1/3, which is the elect, all right, is men, women, and children that take heed to the men of the Lord in these last days. All right. This Psalms 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All right. So under Esau, the so-called white man, let me get Job 9. Under the rulership and authority of Esau, the so-called white man, under his dominion, everything is out of course. Everything is upside down. Wickedness and evil is praised and in this society. All right, do as thou wilt. Okay, You know, this is a lawless, um, God-forsaken, you know, country. You know, so wherever you got Esau, the so-called white man, residing at, um, best believe is wickedness. You know, scriptures call them the border of wickedness. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. The Lord gave the wicked, who is Esau, the earth for a season. Not forever, not for eternity, but for a season, for a era. All right. And it says, uh, if not, where and who is he? So if it's not the so-called white man, who is it? All right, because Esau is responsible um, for all this wickedness which stems from Esau. So let's get Malachi. All right, this Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Right, so the Lord hates Esau, Edom. All right, which they call themselves Caucasians and Europeans. All right, but the Lord, that's how the Lord created them, to be the wicked on the earth, and to to achieve what the Lord wanted them to achieve. All right, which rule this earth for a set amount of time. All right, be a whooping stick. The Lord used them to punish his people, his chosen people. All right, those covenants, the promises, the adoption. All right, uh, the Messiah, he came for his people, the 12 tribes, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, who are Israelites. Okay. So let me go to Jeremiah. I think it's 51. $25. Yeah. All right. So all prophecy, Babylon the Great America, the virgin daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. These prophecies, all right, in Revelation 17 and 18 chapter, with all through the scriptures dealing with Babylon the Great America. And you can, when you looking at the context of it, America is the only, country that fits that prophecy, being the superpower, all right, and that great kingdom that's going to be ruling in the last days when the Lord returns, all right. That's going to that is going to be ruling, all right. How is the hammer of the earth broken, like the scripture says, because Babylon the Great America bullies the whole world, all right. Even though they're a part of NATO, all right, they still bully. They still bully nations from NATO and the EU, and Donald Trump putting tariffs on these countries. That's another sign of, Babylon the Great America flaunting their power, all right, and just trying to make these other nations like bow down and bend to the will of America, Babylon the Great, and that's going to start World War III. All right, these tariffs is only wood in the fire. It's going to cause World War III to go nuclear. All right, everything that's happening is causing World War III to go nuclear. All right, that's the will of the Lord. All right, Jeremiah 51 and 25. Jeremiah 51 and 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroys all the earth. All right, only one country is guilty of that. All right, that's Babylon the Great America. All right, North America. It says, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. Okay, because documents have came out, all right, of I believe that was the CIA. I want to say the CIA. They this was, not that long ago, but probably close to a century ago, or more. They released some disease. They released it onto the public, onto some bridge in America, and they had. I might do a sit down on it, Lord willing, but they let this disease out, and a lot of people died from it, got sick, and things like that. But they did all that just to experiment. Okay, Esau, the so-called white man, he did that just to experiment on a disease and see how it'd affect, how it affect people. All right, so this is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay, and history runs deep in the things that Esau does. All right, which is all coming to the light. All right. So yeah, if you didn't know, spring. All right. The year begins in the springtime. All right. I repeat, according to the Bible, the year begins in the springtime. Okay, in the month of Abib. All right. So Deuteronomy 16:1. Deuteronomy 16:1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Okay. So that this was in the spring. All right. Exodus 23:15. Exodus 23:15. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. Right? All right. So you keep the Passover and feast of unleavened bread in the springtime, in the month of Abib, when the year starts. All right, first month of the year. So it says, let me see. Well, okay. We're going to close out with 12. This Exodus 12:2. All right. Exodus 12:2. I'm going to start at 1. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Okay. All right. And that's Abib. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to touch on. That's what I wanted to touch on. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to end it and give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Harakak double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same and teaching the same. Shalom.